Hey guys, it's Katie. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be showing you my reading plans for June. I haven't done a TBR video in a hot second because I haven't been organized enough to actually plan ahead whether or not I'm gonna be able to read. But I feel like my life has finally slowed down like a little bit. I have a little bit more of a schedule now and I'm actually in like a huge reading mood. I read 6 books last month. I'll link my favorite wrap up down below in the description if you want to see what I read last month. But yeah, because I read 6 books last month, I figured it was a safe bet to plan to read 6 books again this month. So I have 6 books to talk about today. Anyway, let's just get straight into the books. I'll have them all linked down below in the description if you want to learn more about them. I have a pretty like interesting range of genres. Like this is a very weird mix of books, so I'm excited about it. And I'm hoping that you actually like haven't heard of most of these books. So I'm hoping I can like recommend some good ones to you. Put some new ones on your radar, basically. So the first one I'm going to talk about is our June book club pick. If you didn't know, I run a book club over on my Patreon page. So if you want to go learn more about that, possibly participate, I'll have the link down below in the description. Even if you don't support me on Patreon, you could still totally read this book with us this month. Like you are more than welcome to. Our June book club pick is A Number in the Ashes by Sabaa Tahir. I'm like a little over 100 pages into this one already and I'm really enjoying it so far. This has been on my TBR forever, so I was so excited that we picked this as our book club pick because it finally made me pick it up. I talked about this a little bit in my past reading vlog. I'm not entirely sure how to describe what this is about. It's the first book in a fantasy series. We have 2 different point of view characters. We have Laia and Elias, I think that's how you say their names. Basically, the tagline of the book is Laia is a slave, Elias is a soldier, neither is free. But I'm sure you guys actually have all heard of this series by now. You could probably explain it better than I can, but I'm enjoying it so far. I actually really like the way that Sabaa Tahir writes. I'm a huge fan of this writing style. The only thing I will say about it though is I feel like she kind of overwrites, just that things go on for a very long time. And this is like totally a personal preference thing and like a nitpicky thing. But if it were me, if I were doing this, like I would cut scenes off so much earlier than she does. She just lets things go on for such a long time, which I think is why her books are so long. But yeah, I'm reading this month. I'm treating this like a wrap up, not a TBR. Can you tell it's been like a year since I've done a TBR video? I guess we'll stick with the books that I'm currently reading because I'm currently in the middle of a lot of these before I get into the ones that I haven't started yet. Another book that I'm currently reading is I Miss You When I Blink by Mary Laura Philippou. So this is nonfiction. This is actually a collection of essays. This woman who's kind of going through an identity crisis, and I'm like 20 pages into this. I just read like the first essay and a half or so, but I'm really enjoying it. It's funny, it's relatable, it's sort of like a self-improvement kind of book, but it's funny, the line I miss you when I blink, her son actually came up with when he was like 6, and now she's kind of adopted that as her mantra, and she kind of thinks of it as like how she misses her past selves, like these younger versions of herself, and so she repeats this mantra to herself to kind of remind herself that all of those versions of herself are still with her, if that makes sense. I don't know. I really like it so far. I have a feeling I'm gonna give this one a very high rating. I've been on such a nonfiction kick lately for whatever reason. That's like all I want to read. I've been listening to a ton of nonfiction audiobooks on my commute in the morning. So I also found this audiobook on Scribd too, if you use Scribd. And then the last of these books that I'm currently reading, I also talked about in my last reading vlog, and it's actually an ebook and it's an ARC. It comes out I think the 7th of August, and it's called 100 Days of Sunlight by Abby Emmons. And if you don't know, Abby Emmons is also a YouTuber. I think she's technically an author tuber. I can link her channel down below if you want to go check her out. She also has a super cute blog. But when I found out she was self-publishing this book, I really wanted to get an ARC because it sounded really cool. The description sounds really freaking cool. I love the premise of this book. It's about this teenage girl who's in a car accident with her grandmother, and she loses her sight from like a brain injury, and the doctors tell her it's probably just going to be temporary. She'll probably get her sight back in a couple of months. But she's a blogger and she writes poetry, and she's just kind of struggling with the fact that she's suddenly blind. And in an attempt to cheer her up, her grandparents put an ad in the newspaper to hire a typist to come over to write her poetry for her and kind of help her keep up her blog while she's still recovering. And so the boy who takes the job is a teenage boy who is about her age. He had an accident previously where he lost both of his legs, and so he has 2 prosthetic legs, but she's blind, so she can't see him, and he doesn't want her to know. And so she just kind of treats him the same way that she treats everyone else, and she's actually like really mean to him, and he's like, oh, this is so refreshing, like she doesn't feel sorry for me. And so the book is about like him writing her poetry and their kind of budding relationship and her kind of coming to terms with what's happened to her and kind of getting back up, because right now she's just kind of throwing herself a pity party and not doing anything. And I'm imagining this is going to turn into a romance between the 2 of them, like duh. I'm like 40% through the book right now. I'm not gonna let this video turn into a review of this because I have a lot of thoughts on this book. Like a lot. But like I said, super cute premise. Always want to support booktubers and author tubers who publish their stuff, especially self-published stuff. So yeah, if you're interested in this book, I think she's still accepting like requests for ARCs on NetGalley if you want to see if you can get yourself an ARC if you're also a book reviewer. If not, it's coming out in August. Okay, so down to the last 2 books on my TBR. I haven't started either of these, but I'm super excited for both. The first one is Crashing the A-List by Summer Heacock. This is also an ARC. I don't know why I'm reading so many ARCs this month. This is not what I usually do, but this one is coming out July 9th of this year, so it's almost here. And I actually requested this from the publisher. Funny how I found this book actually. It was through Twitter. Gotta love book Twitter. And I saw these authors having this discussion. It was this really long thread on Twitter. I would link it down below, but I don't think I'll be able to find it again, about things that people don't talk about in publishing. And these 2 authors were talking about how some new authors especially feel uncomfortable coming forward and talking about how their publishers kind of like abandon them and don't do their books justice and like don't give them any marketing budget, and so they have to do it all themselves, and then they feel like their books failed because the publishers like didn't care about their books. It was a very interesting thread. And so this one author kind of piped in and she was like, yeah, I felt like my publisher like didn't do anything for my book, and like I just kind of had to deal with that and move on, and my book didn't get any marketing, and I watched like a couple of books get all of the marketing, and then all of us were over here and didn't get any. Anyway, I was very intrigued by these tweets, and so I saw that this author had kind of felt like bad about her books not getting any publicity, and I was like, I want to support you. So I went to her publisher and I requested her book because I saw her tweet. It's the weirdest way I have ever found a book to request from a publisher. But then they sent me an ARC, so I'm really excited to support this author because apparently she's not getting enough publicity, so you should all go add this book on Goodreads and help her out. Anyway, that was like a little tangent. Crashing the A-List. So I wanted this book because it sounded like a cute little rom-com. And from what I understand, it's like a fake dating scenario, and one of them is a celebrity. So you know this is gonna be trashy and cute and fun. I'm excited. So our main character, Clara, is a former book editor, and she's been unemployed for 4 months. And so she's struggling to find a job, and she gets this like temporary trash job of like clearing out storage units. And so she finds a unit that was like once owned by an escort service, and she finds this like some kind of like incriminating thing against this like really famous actor, and she has like no intention of like blackmailing him or anything, but he apparently like gets the wrong idea when she like goes to tell him that she found this thing or something. But while they're like talking, the tabloids like see them together, and now there's all of these rumors that the 2 were dating, and so then the 2 start fake dating, and I think it turns into like a real relationship. Basically everything that I love in a rom-com. I'm super excited for this. I have been looking for just like a fun trashy book for so long, and all of my previous attempts have let me down, so I have very high hopes for this one. It sounds really cute. Again, this comes out in July, but like I said, you should go look her up on Goodreads, add her books and stuff, support her. Okay, and so then the last book that I have on my TBR for this month is another nonfiction book. Like I said, I've been on like a huge nonfiction kick. I don't know why. It's called Maybe You Should Talk to Someone by Lori Godlib. And so this, I think, is more of like a memoir kind of thing. This woman who is a therapist, but then starts seeing another therapist, and so it's just her kind of talking about her experience being a therapist and then seeing a therapist and kind of the common connections between her issues and the issues of her clients. I don't really know how this is gonna work with the whole like confidentiality thing, so I am intrigued, but it has really good reviews online. It's got some interesting blurbs. Again, I'm very intrigued by this. We shall see. But everyone keeps saying it's like really funny and stuff, and I'm all about the funny books right now, so I'll keep you updated on this one. This is the one that I think I know the least about. Just the premise of it sounded interesting, and because I've been on such a nonfiction kick, I was like, yeah, that's probably something that I would like right now. So yeah, those are all of the books. Wait, no, that's not true. I have one more book I forgot about. This book I am also currently reading. I'm listening to the audiobook, that's why I forgot about it. And I've been talking about this in my reading vlogs as well. I think I'm actually almost done with this one. I have 5 hours left in the audiobook, and the audiobook was like 14 hours long, so, and it is Tiny Pretty Things. I have been saying the wrong title for weeks. I don't know why. I just cannot remember the title of this book, but it's a young adult book about ballerinas, and I also think it's the first book in a series. It's from a ton of different point of views of all of these different ballerinas at this ballet school, and they're very serious. Like, a lot of them want to go on to become professional ballerinas and stuff. Like, this is their whole life, and it's so friggin' cutthroat and catty and just like messed up. If you're into the whole like Gossip Girl, like Pretty Little Liars, trashy kind of thing, you'll probably like this. I'm kind of torn because I think it's a very interesting insight into the ballet world. Like, I don't know anything about ballet. Getting an insight into that world has been really interesting. And there's one of the main characters that I really, really like. She's the only like black ballerina there, and she has like a heart defect, and everyone kind of ostracizes her, and she's the only nice person in the book, so I'm rooting for her. All of the other ones are so freaking like fake. Like, they pretend to be friends with the other girls, but then they like try to sabotage them behind their backs, and it's just so catty, and there's so much girl on girl hate, and so I'm conflicted about it because I don't like any of the characters except for Gigi, the black ballerina, because she's the only like decent human being there. The rest of them, like, you understand where they're coming from. They all have like interesting backstories. Like, they all have reasons for the way that they are, but they behave so poorly that I just hate that. I just hate unnecessary drama. I hate girl on girl hate. I hate cattiness. And so it's hard to root for any of these girls when they are being so mean to each other. Yeah, I'm kind of conflicted on my feelings for it right now. It's interesting. Like, obviously I've stuck with it. I'm almost done with it. But that's just like a warning if that's something that you don't like and you don't want to deal with like all of this drama and the cattiness and stuff. This is not the book for you. Honestly, if I wasn't listening to the audiobook, I probably would have DNF'd it because of that. So that's just something to look out for. However, it has amazing reviews, and so many people that I know rated it like super, super high, which is why I picked it up in the first place. So obviously some people are loving this and can get past that, but that's just something that personally really bothers me, and so that's really been hindering my enjoyment of this book. That might just be a personal preference. So yeah, those are all of the books that I plan to read this month. Make sure to let me know down in a comment if you read any of these and what you thought of them. I would love to hear your thoughts, or just tell me what book you are most excited to read this month, because I am always looking to add to my ever-growing TBR. So yeah, I think that's gonna be it for this video. But if you want to follow me on any of my social media, all of those links are down below in the description. Also, if you're not already, I would love it if you would subscribe to my channel. I put up at least 2 new videos every single week, usually on Thursday and Sunday. I've been trying really hard to stick to that schedule. And yeah, if you enjoyed this video, I'd appreciate it if you would give it a thumbs up, because it helps out my channel a lot. And other than that, I'll just see you guys in my next video very, very soon. Bye.
So hit me. So hit me. So hit me. First a confession. With you, I feel a connection. With you, it's